Mace Corner Talk. What's up, everybody? It's your boy H from Mace Corner Talk. Hope everybody's in good spirits and good health. Just coming to you today to talk about a few things. So let me get myself set up here. So I'm glad that everybody is having their fun today. Glad that everyone is able to tune in. The title is self-explanatory. The Diary of a Mad Black Father. Give me a second. Let me make sure. I'm trying to get to my chat, so give me 1 second to make sure the chat is jumping so that way all of the people can get in the chat and we can converse. Bingo. Bingo. All right. Cool. Got the chat open for anybody that wants to converse with Ace. But before I start, let me say this. If there's anybody in the Baltimore area that needs their GED or needs their high school diploma, contact Ace at ace.barbertalk. Contact Ace at ace.barbertalk. If you're in the Baltimore area and you are in the need of a GED or high school diploma, contact Ace, which is myself, at ace.barbertalk. Okay? Appreciate everybody tuning in. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into a few things today. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you. And I will have my phone line, excuse me. I'm just a little excited. I will have my phone lines open today. So if you did want to call in, be my guest. I'm trying not to rely on my phone line being open all the time because we got a lot of prank callers out there that want to put a lot of foolishness on my phone line when I'm trying to be serious. So not often am I going to be opening my phone line, but today in this particular topic, I will have my phone line open. So the number to call in will be 443-376-8842. Again, 443-376-8842. That's the phone lines to get in. The Diary of a Mad Black Father. I'm going to talk about the fathers today since Father's Day is tomorrow. What's up, Uncle Shug? Peace. What's good with you? He says, peace to all the living organisms. Peace, my brother. Glad that you're in the chat. So I'm going to start off today by saying a lot of men are walking around with a lot of hurt in their heart. And they don't understand how to articulate the pain that they're feeling in their heart. So I want to begin this session and this show, this platform with the hurt that a lot of us men are carrying around out there in society. And this is coming from the Diary of a Black Mad Father. Take it as you will. But a lot of us, we're carrying feelings on the deep, or we're carrying feelings on the inside deeply embedded in us because of the whys and the why nots. We're carrying a lot of the pain in the inside because of our perspective about what has taken place in our lives. So the average kid, the average adult, the average young man that had to experience not having a father in their life, they're walking around right now carrying so many different harvest emotions that it's hard for them to deal with reality. It's hard for us to deal with the things that we are faced with when it comes to making decisions as fathers and as young men. Why I want to know this, and I pose this question. Why have society dismissed the roles of our fathers? I want to get into that. Why have society today dismissed the roles of our fathers? Because as it seems today, fathers get a pass for not upholding their obligations and their duties. And believe me, I'm trying to slow walk it a little bit, so mind me. I'm trying to slow walk right into this thing because it might hit some people and it might not. And the chat is open. So if you want to jump in this chat, there you go. Phone number 443-376-8842. You can call in, whatever, however you feel. And if you agree with what I'm saying, cool. If you don't, cool. You know, call in, do whatever. The platform is open for you. Now, the platform is not open for no trolls, and the platform is not open for no soliciting phone calls about wanting to sell magazines and all this foolishness. If you want to talk about some real issues, we're going to talk about some real issues today. We're not going to be talking about no foolishness, all right? What's up, Food, Shelter, and Clothing? What's going on? How you feel, bro? So we're not going to be talking about foolishness. We're going to be talking about some real issues, okay? So why do men or fathers get a pass in society? I want to know one thing. Why come when a man has 10 baby kids, right? And then he's with a woman, or a woman goes to court or date or whatever, or goes to figure out they're going to deal with each other, whatever, you know, old terms, new terms. Why do the women look at them as if they're a candidate to be material for them to either make them a husband, make them a mate, or even make them a part of their life? Why, when you're faced with a situation like that, much love to you, bro. Why, when you're faced with a situation like that, do you consider these individuals candidates? Okay, I'm not going to go banging on women. I'm not going to go banging hard. I'm just going to give simple logic, okay? Since my man Logic came in the chat, I'm going to give simple logic. Why? Because to me, it would seem that if the individual already has 10 kids and then you hook up with them and have a kid, wouldn't it be that much more hard for you to be able to get the needs of that one child met because he chose to have 10 kids out there and is not taking care of those kids? That is a question I pose. That I put that out there to some of the people in the chat. I put that out there to the listener. I just want to know that. All right, I'm not bashing women because we're gonna go softly today because tomorrow is Father's Day, and I want to get down to the root of some things. Okay, that's what I want to do. I'm digging deep to get down to the root of a couple of core issues. So I want to know, why don't women hold fathers accountable? All right. When it comes to certain situations, why do women do not hold the fathers accountable for when they have not stepped up to their duties as a father? It seems like they get a pass if they have a certain look to them, or if they have a certain talk to them. They get a pass. They get a pass at stepping up to their responsibilities. They get a pass at how they are and how they should be as opposed to how they are. Okay, hopefully I said that right. They get a pass. So they get a pass at being deadbeats because they got green eyes and wavy fly-by hair. You feel me? They get a pass. They get a pass because of how well endowed they may be. All right, I'm just giving you a couple of scenarios. So if he can do the Mumbo mattress real well, he gets a pass. No matter how many kids he got, no matter how crazy his logic and his raising skills or raising kids skills are, he gets a pass because of those particular scenarios I just mentioned. Why? I want to know this, and I'm not trying to go so hard. I ain't banging with a shotgun today. I just got a 9mm out today. All right. So Ace ain't banging. I'm just popping. Don't you remember what was that, Harlem Nights? And everybody was shooting Tommy guns. My man was just shooting that pop gun. Pop, pop. That's all I'm doing. I got the pop gun out today. All right. So, and I'm gonna put Ace's twist on it. So I ain't mad, but you know, I have to have a way to express this. Why, when women have their kids, they choose a particular men that they choose, and then get mad when the man does not meet the responsibilities and the obligations that it takes to be that man that you was looking for. Now, is it because the standards have been dropped? Or is it because standards have been thrown out the door when it comes to today's relationships? Is it possible to even uphold the standards anymore? Is it much more difficult to uphold standards in today's age than it is to just say, you know what, this is what I will and will not accept. This is the type of person I want, and I'm in pursuit of that. Or this is the type of father I want for when I do have kids. This is what I'm in pursuit of. Is that a lot to deal with? Is that too much pressure? Is that too much to ask for from the average sister out there? Because I find out that the more you begin to push in that area, it seems to be a turnoff rather than a plus, right? Or is it the fact that men are lying to women and not acknowledging how much kids they have, and they getting into these relationships, and then all of a sudden, after they have invested some emotional time and have given themselves over to that man, then they come to find out they got a whole nother family, they got 20 kids, they got all kind of stuff going on. So now that person is in a betwixt situation because they don't know what to do. They know they got feelings or strong feelings for the individual, and now they're having to deal with all of the madness they just brought into their life because of what they hid from them. It's something to think about. It's something to think about when you're faced with this type of situation, right? Just wanted to say peace out there to all the people. Call in number 443-376-8842. So if you want to call in, please do. If you want to put something in the chat, please do. Those who don't know how to use the chat, you're using your phone, look to the right or left. It should have, or look to the bottom, it should have live chat. That means you can live chat with me. All right? So put something in that chat. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't put a thumbs up, thumbs up. If you don't like what I'm saying, thumbs down. If you hate Ace, thumbs down. But I hope you're enjoying everything that I try to bring to the platform for us, okay? That's what's up. So, in this type of narrative, what we see today, the fathers rather buy Jordans and then send their kids to Payless to wear Payless shoes. So I find out that a lot of material things today have been glorified over taking care of the kids. Now, I'm not talking to, I'm gonna go both ways. I'm not talking to just one particular group of men, because they are men handling their business. So this shouldn't hit you, and this shouldn't make you feel some kind of way if you are handling your business. Now, if you're handling your business and you're handling your kid business, you got Jordans on your feet, okay, oh well. Or you got some expensive shoes, or whatever the case is, oh well. I'm not talking to you. But I'm talking to brothers that might be in a situation where they're not the best fathers and they're not financially taking care of their kids, but when you look at them, they are 100 from the feet up to the crown of their head. They 100. They got the $200 Jordans on. You feel me? They got the nice Spencer smell good cologne on. got the fresh shirts, or whatever the case is. They decked out. But then when it comes to the representation of their kids, it's not where it should be. Or the mothers out there struggling to give their kids a little better. Not saying expensive things all kids should have, or that's the narrative, or where we should be heading as a family generation, as a group of people, blacks or whatever. I'm not saying that, because material things, it's all about who is looking behind the scenes. Okay, so I'm not saying that material things is the way to go, and that's how a father should be when it comes to raising their kids. I'm not saying that at all. So don't get it twisted. But what I am saying is, if he has that on, why have he not thought about his kids first before he took the approach to get that for his own self? Okay, that's all Ace is saying. Because I see a lot of people talking about bigging up what they got and what they have, but then when you talk about and ask them about their kids, they get to stuttering and backpedaling, and they get to doing a whole lot of reasoning. Well, yeah, that's a long situation. You ever heard somebody talk about, well, man, that's a long situation, man. This broad tripping, man. This chick tripping, man. She ain't, no, I don't know. I mean, what you mean, bro? What's going on with that situation? I'm not understanding. What you got kids, but what? The mother what? No, hold on, wait a minute. What happened to you putting the energy, and what happened to you putting the pursuit behind trying to do whatever you can for your kids? What happened to that? Don't make excuses for what the mother did or did not do, or what she is putting in the way as a stumbling block. Don't use that as excuses. Make sure you have exhausted all your resources, and make sure you as a father have did everything you could to put forward the energy to taking care of your kids and being in their lives. So don't use all of that other stuff as an excuse, because from this point, that's all it is just an excuse. If you have not put forward that energy, then what happens is you begin to repeat the cycle. You begin to repeat the cycle that you probably was in. So what happens is we begin to see this pattern. And if we're ever going to correct the behavior of us men, fathers, ever going to correct that behavior, let's get down to the root of why the behavior occurs, or why do we continue in this particular pattern of behavior when it comes to us men. Okay? Some men are crippled because they don't have their fathers in their life. Some men have continued on with the crippled behavior because they didn't have their fathers in their life. They don't know how to let certain things go in order to begin and function with a productive life in their kids' life. Some men are holding in and fostering a lot of the pain and fostering a lot of the hurt because they don't understand how to let go what has happened in the past or what has happened to them before they became fathers themselves. So they repeat the behavior of what happened to them. Okay? They repeat the behavior of not having that father in their life. So everything that they had to experience, they find themselves role-playing that same behavior in their life because of what their father did or did not do in their life. Facts. That's facts. And I wish I had somebody to call in right now to help support what I'm saying, because I don't want to feel like I'm on an island alone when it comes to talking about us men. Because I know there's good fathers, and I know there's other fathers with some opinions out there about what is being said. So let me do this. Let me just put my number in this chat just in case somebody fly by the chat. All right, cool. Bam. Numbers in the chat. So if you did want to call in, call Ace, and let's talk about this thing. Because tomorrow's Father's Day, and for those who are out there doing what they're supposed to do, I want this to be special for you. I want Ace to create an atmosphere for you tomorrow that when you come through that door in the morning, it feels great to be a father and recognized for who you are, okay? But first, I want to get through a certain particular narrative of why some of the fathers out there are stagnated in their behavior when it comes to being the best father they can be. All right? The fathers are hurting in the society today. And they're not only hurting themselves, they're hurting the kids and they're hurting the women in our society. And I'm gonna read some of what the chat is saying, so I'm gonna go into that. So what happens is a lot of the fathers out there are not only hurting and damaging their own self, they're hurting and damaging the kids and the mothers out there because of what they have experienced, or because of what they may be going through, or because of who wasn't in their life, or who was not attached to them when they was in their adolescent years. So as they begin to misuse the upbringing or interpret their upbringing a little different, they carry the behavior that there's no love there for them, that there's no support for them. So anything they do is always going to be misrepresented in the society. And they're always going to be viewed and looked at in a different way. Period. That's just what it is. It's crazy enough. Rella Ann, I appreciate you as a faithful subscriber to this channel, because every time I look up in my chat, I see that name, Rella Ann, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much, sis. God bless you. Appreciate it. And Rella Ann does say, I didn't have my father in my life like I wanted. But I don't blame my mother for choosing him. Okay, good point. Yeah, that's lame. His kids should look better than him. Okay. So she brought up a good point also, that even though she did not have her father in her life, she's not blaming her mother. Now, what happens is the young men that are growing up without their fathers, the only way they can take their frustration out is to blame that father. The only way they can properly function in the society with what they have in their heart is to blame the fathers. And God knows. I'm telling you some facts. Some men out there right now have played the blame game because they did not have their fathers. They didn't have nobody to take them to baseball games. They didn't have nobody to support them in Little Pee Wee League or Pop Warner League. They didn't have somebody there to acknowledge the good or bad that they was doing. So that man grew up with this in his heart. So it took a role of a callous role towards having, or a callous role in when it came to having their kids, there was a detached there. Come on. I know I'm telling you the truth. There was a detach from the kids when they began to start having kids. The father said, you know what? That's my baby boy. Yeah, that's my firstborn. But then when it came to actually putting in the groundwork to rearing, schooling, being involved, that father was detached because emotions begin to uprise after a certain point. You begin to reflect back on how you was brought up, and that bring pains. That bring a lot of pain in the individual's life. That brings so much pain that they're confused about how to deal with their own child in their life. Facts. Facts. So they begin to go through all of these different experiences. They begin to do a lot of running, because them brothers can run. You can call them Hassan Bolt. You understand what I'm saying? Some of these brothers should have Bolt written on their back because they get to running. They run from the responsibility because it's hard for them to deal with the past of not having their father in their life, or a role model or a mentor that could have helped them through a lot of their situations. So you see them brothers running. You hand them the baton, they gone, and you ain't seeing them. Okay? So they have that thing on the inside that they deal with. You dig? I want to talk about this also. What about when a brother gets out of jail? What about when he went out there and did it? Y'all like this right here, this Puma shirt? All right, yeah. Okay, what's up? All right. Okay, what happens when a father goes out there and he begins to do some crazy act out there, knowing that it will put him in a predicament not to be in his kid's life or the mother's life, or whatever the case is? I want to set the scenario up because it happens every day. That's what Ace is going to do. Okay, I'm going to do this for you. I'm gonna do this for me. What happens when a father goes out there and commits a petty crime but get locked up for a length of time? And now that kid or that daughter or that son do not have the father in their life because they chose to go out there and not think about the responsibilities that lie behind him. What happens? What happens to that child when he don't see his father for 2 or 3 years and he has to experience certain situations in his life when he doesn't have the father there? I'm going to tell you what happens. I'm going to tell you. That kid begins to hold resentment because he don't know how to process the ignorance of the father. And he does not know how to process what happened to cause that scenario in that father's life. So that kid grows up, or those years are spent with resentment because he just doesn't see the father. What's up, Zeus? Zeus is flippy. What's up? Peace. Another faithful subscriber that tunes in to Ace Corner Talk. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. And if you want to call in anytime, Zeus, man, give me a call, man. You got the number in there, all right? So any of y'all want to call in, please do so. Help your brother out, because I want to get some feedback on what I'm talking about. My man Zeus is flippy. So what happens is, a lot of the times you have that kid that grows up for those couple of years, or whether it be 10 years or 5 years, they don't understand why that father, is not there. That's all they can process. That brings me to what I want to talk about now, the why. That's the first thing, the why. That always leaves that door open for self-disappointment in ourselves as young men and not understanding why. Was it the fact that he didn't love me? Was it the fact that he didn't have enough care in his heart and his mind to think about me? Was it the fact that the father in my life didn't have enough good sense to say, I love my son enough not to go out there recklessly and get locked up doing crazy stuff so I cannot be in his life? Is that it? I mean, because we deal with that. We deal with that so much in this society. You're getting young men locked up, 16, 17, with 2 kids, with a kid out there, and have not thought once, how would it impact that kid if they haven't seen them for 3 or 4 years? See, we take it lightly that it might not be, like it just might be something where, well, you know, it's just another kid. Or, well, that's just my son. He's strong, or he got a strong mother. He'll be all right. But have you ever thought about how it would impact that kid? Or have you ever thought about the feelings that he may have, or how he may process those feelings when he starts to get a little older and see that his father's not around, that there haven't been nobody taking him to baseball games, and haven't been nobody there to give him a couple of dollars to go get some stuff from the corner store or to go shopping, or just haven't been nobody invested time with a male role model figure in his life. You feel me? I had a woman today at my job. She was like, yeah. I said, yeah. You know, I'm gonna try to enjoy my Father's Day. I was getting off. I said, I'm gonna try to enjoy my Father's Day, this, that, and the third. She was like, yeah, you know, my kids are gonna celebrate me too, because they say to me, Happy Father's Day too. So I said, whoa, wait a minute. I said, what? I said, I don't understand that. What you mean? She was like, yeah, I'm the mother and the father. I said, whoa. I said, I disagree with that, sis. I said, man, I disagree with that, man. I said, I don't go deep with that. So I had to disagree with her. I mean, you know, it's just a conversation. I wasn't hard on her, none, but I just simply told her I disagree with it because I don't believe. And I gave her the scenario. I said, well, can you wear a size 12 sneaker or boot or shoe? And I said, if you do, I know you will look kind of awkward, but could you fulfill the shoes of a man? I said, could you show that son how to stand up and pee? And she was like, no. So I said, well, I mean, that's kind of why I brought that point up. It's because I don't think you could be the mother and the father. Now, you play your role as the mother, and you probably do an excellent job. And then you do the best you can to help him when he has certain situations as a male to try to get insight on how to deal with it. But you can't, by far, be the father. Period. I don't care. Disagree with me? There's the chat. We can go head to head on this particular subject. We can go head to head on that, because I don't believe that. What's up, Muhammad? What's up? I don't believe that that you could be the mother and the father. I believe that there's certain roles designated to the particular gender, right? Because I don't expect no single father to try to teach a daughter how to pee. I don't expect a single father to deal with the situations about their periods and about menstrual cycles and all that other stuff. I don't expect a father to play that role, because you don't hear people say, I'm the father, I play the mother role and the father role. When have you ever heard that before? When have you heard a single father boldly stand up and say, yeah, I'm the mother and I'm the father? I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy to have a thought pattern like that. Because why would you want to play that role? Just say simply, I know he might not have his father there, but I'm the mother and I'm doing the best I can as a mother. And then he has role models in his life that is assisting the father role. Might not have to be somebody you're involved with. Don't have to be a loved one. I mean, don't have to be somebody that you're in love with or in a relationship with. It could be another role model or a strong role model. It could be. So why not say that? Why not say, yeah, you know, he has role models in his life? What's going on? This is Ace Corner Talk. What's your name? Where you calling from? Hello? I apologize. This is Ace Corner Talk. What's your name? Where you calling from? Give me a second. We got malfunction. We're malfunctioning here. Let's get this thing together here. Caller, if you're calling in, call back. All right, let's see what's jumping with this here. All right, caller, call back. I think it's a caller from Hawaii with a Hawaiian number. So caller, call back. Apologize. We were trying to get it jumping. All right. So now, so why do we have that thought pattern in society that women can play the role of the man and the woman? Why? I don't think that that is possible for the woman to play both roles. And if you disagree with me. I'm not gonna bash and I'm not gonna argue with you. I just want to hear if it was possible. Okay, this is Ace Corner Talk. What's your name? Where you calling from?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hey, what's up, baby? What's going on?
What's up, baby? This is Logic.
What's good with you, man? How you feel?
Oh, man, you know I had to come here and show you some love, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
no doubt, man. I appreciate it.
Nobody wanted to call in, so I call in.
That's
yeah, but I like to. I think you're right, man. You hit on the head. It's you know what I'm saying. First off, we gotta realize that, hey, look, you know what? Men we fucking up, and women is fucking up. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's trying to bash a woman, and nobody's trying to bash a man. We're gonna try to do this equally and try to figure out how can we fix this. So, I mean, I think the biggest problem is that we dealing with a lot of effects of role reversals that a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, men that got sorry, and then everybody got used to men being sorry, so women start taking that role, and then they've been so used to doing that role that if they find a man, you know what I'm saying, that's willing to, you know what I'm saying, do his part, you know what I'm saying, they've been doing it for so long that they figure like they losing something from themselves by giving up that control. And you know what I'm saying, it's a thing that I always say is that a woman got to be a nurturer. You know what I'm saying? She got to be a nurturer to the kids, and the man got to be the protector. So you know what I'm saying? Even though that we know it been fucked up niggas in females' lives that been forcing them to be a protector and a nurturer. But once you find that man, you got to give up that obligation to say, hey, look, you know what? You protect us. I'm going to pay my attention to nurture these kids, and then vice versa. So we see that a lot. Today, you know what I'm saying? That's what niggas wearing pocketbooks, all that shit. All it is effects of role reversal.
Right.
Yeah, you look at Facebook and YouTube, you see the women out here fighting being the protectors, and you'll see the men sitting back filming. So you know what I'm saying? That's our biggest problem that we're dealing with today. Right. And I think if we fix that, man, we'll come a long way.
True. I agree. I agree with you 100%. And I also wanted to add this, and I'm gonna ask you this question also. I can remember back, and I have a decent relationship with my father. So, you know, there was a certain time, due to the circumstances, me and my father didn't have the connection that I thought I should have had. But to his defense, and it goes both ways. To his defense, I was miles and miles and miles away. But I felt like he should have been able to reach out more if he was more concerned about me. So it goes both ways, but I'm not trying to throw salt on him because our relationship is decent. Now that I'm adult, we are able to have the relationship that I always wanted. You understand? But during those years when a lot of my troubles came, I did not have him. And a lot of my troubles probably could have been prevented if I had the role model and I had the voice of reasoning, which would have been him at the time, to help me. Because he's very successful, he's very smart, he has degrees and all of this different stuff. So in that aspect, he probably could have helped me along the way with some of the choices I've made. But I want to ask this question. In what particular age bracket do you think us young men really need our father? In what particular age bracket? Because it's different for everybody. Excuse me. It's different. Excuse me. It's different for everybody, and the age brackets are different. What's up, Rabney? Peace, sis. So
yeah, I think a young man or a young woman will always be their father from beginning to end. And then the reason I say that is because what happened is that you learned a lot of stuff. You had to learn what you had to experience, and you had to make a lot of mistakes that your father could have educated you on. So, you know what I'm saying, you making the mistakes wouldn't have been an option. So see what now is because you experienced a lot of stuff growing up without your father being there with you every day. So now you got your kids there. So now they will learn, you will educate them through your experience and mistakes. So now your generation will not be in the same predicament that you was in. So now if you look at a big scheme of things, that's progress. That's progress going across the board. But if we're in a predicament where we had to experience things and make mistakes because we wasn't educated, and our kids had experience and make mistakes because they wasn't educated, then now we're not getting no headway because everything that we not teaching them from our mistakes and experiences. Right. And that I think that's big, you know what I'm saying? And I think it starts from the day they're born, you know what I'm saying, until either you die or, you know what I'm saying, I mean, I ain't wishing no bad on nobody, but until their kids die. So until, you know what I'm saying, their time is over on this earth, that education and experience, you know what I'm saying, that experience and mistake, education will still play a role in that child and that father's life.
Got it. I got it. So I had that question out there, and a lot of times the first thing a kid does is when he has not recognized a strong role model or recognized the father, what they do is they begin to blame self. They begin to say, what did I do to cause that father not to love me or be in my life? And a lot of times the behavior is more severe when they take that approach. And I find that to be factual. Now, don't quote me on the facts about it. Quote me about personal stuff. The behavior is more severe when they feel that the love from that individual was not there because of what they did. The severity of their behavior is more. Now, versus a person that's in and out of their life is not as severe as somebody that just didn't have it at all. The severity of it is like crazy. They do things with no regard because the callous is there. Okay. A lot of us feel like this. A lot of us feel like we will eventually one day turn into our fathers. I don't know about you. I don't know about your situation with your father, but my thought was eventually I will turn into the product of what he was. And that leads me to say today, I fight against trying to be like I felt he was at the time he wasn't in my life. So I fight to be a better person. You hear me, Logic? Hello?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, cool.
See, me, my father was a piece of shit. I really didn't meet my father until I was probably 23 years old. And he died.
He died?
So,
you say your father?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, man. Man, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's good. Because, I mean, he really was a father to me. You know what I'm saying? So now, what happened is that what I did is the same thing you did. You got that feeling that you said, you know what, I gotta actually, you know what I'm saying, not do the same things he did. But see, that's what you're doing. That you're learning and you're going through your experiences and your mistakes, or your father experiences and mistakes, and then now you educate your kids and educate yourself. Because see, me, every time I see a bit of me towards my kids, you know what I'm saying, in any kind of direction that my father did or did not do, I make it immediately change.
Right.
So now, you know what I'm saying, that's me educating my kids through my experience and mistakes. Because I don't want it to be nowhere near my experience that I had. Because I had to get out there and grind and find everything out. And you know what? That's why I'm like the way I am now.
Right.
That's why I'm going hard and I'm passionate about, you know what I'm saying, putting out information, because I know I was fucked up. I know that, you know what I'm saying, my father wasn't a role model to me. So I know that I got my role models from the street. I got my role models from social media. I got my role models from these athletes and these rappers. They was my role models because I didn't have nobody to be a role model. So now, regardless, a boy go find some type of role model, something to look up to, because it's an absence of that father there. Now, my son, he will make sure that, guess what? Dad, my role model, and this is why. Dad teach me. Dad do positive things. Dad this, dad that. You know what I'm saying? I want dad to be coming out of his mouth at all times.
Right.
But I didn't do that for my dad. That was a predicament that I had. You know what I'm saying? I think my role model was fucking Tupac. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My role model was goddamn Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders. You know what I'm saying? That was my role model. And now I really didn't know these individuals. I just looked up to them because, you know what, they have athletic ability. They had this, they had that. But at the end of the day, these guys were the biggest crackheads, were the biggest, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't a real role model for me.
Right.
And they'll eventually, after they get older, they'll tell you that they wasn't a role model. So now we got to take that social media role model effects off, because if our kids is actually looking up to these people as being role models, then we got a bigger issue than what we're talking about.
Right. I want to say this, Logic, since I got you on the line. And I'm gonna say this, and I got a different difference of opinion now that I got to know you. But I thought you were the biggest idiot I ever heard in my life. And I just want don't just let me say what I got to say. Well, hey, look, the A's gotta be real with you, all right? So let me just say this. I thought you were the biggest idiot I ever heard in my life. I said, man, this dude is an idiot, man. Everything he says is idiotic. Okay. But now that I have got to know you and we have been conversing a little bit, you know, I find out that's not really the case. And what leads me to say this is sort of going into the next point. Everybody arrived with their point of views and their outlook on life because of how they had to defend themselves coming up without their fathers. So your point of view, what you went through, how you had to struggle, how you had to overcome, is totally different from how some other people might have. So the point of view, the point of view that you have is, it might just be different from other people. But see, I'm still working on myself, not to just see people as they are, but look behind the person. You know, sometimes I might be guilty of that. So I'm being real, and I might just in a way be apologizing for just how I came off the first time we was on a chat banging on each other when we was on Suicide 29's channel. We was going at it, but it was because I didn't see your logic, because of how I was brought up without a father, and you probably didn't at the time see my logic because of how you was brought up without a father. So, like I said, man, you know, I apologize for that, man, because I realized that it was kind of silly of me to be like that and not giving you the benefit of the doubt because of your difference of opinion about me. But just by you sharing that, what you just said about you not having your father or meeting your father at 23, I can imagine the turmoil, imagine the things that you experienced not having that father there, man. I really do, because I didn't meet back up with my father until I was in my 18, 19. Now, I think up until like the point about 8 or 9 when I moved from New York, I think that was about the last time up until 18 or 19 I had any connection, any talkings, anything dealing with my father. So all of that length of time, I was just involved in so much madness, man, that I put myself in that it could have been avoided if I had that longing fulfilled. You feel me? Like the longing to have him in my life fulfilled. Yeah. Although with the Tupac, look, you see that right there? I had the earring on my nose. Hey, I really thought I was in the pot when I was in that pot era. I really thought I was that pot dude. Like I was in the streets trying to be that. You understand what I'm saying? Because the people I hung out with those were the role models that I had. They was gangsters. They was drug sellers. So I figured I idolized that because I didn't have a role model to idolize. And at the time, I felt like I could have been that. I could have been Pop. You feel me? Minus the rap skills. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Hey, bro, if you look at it, man, me and you got more in common than we probably thought. Because see, he was my role model too. But see, I started to realize now, since I got kids, that I realized that Tupac wasn't my role model. He was my only option.
Damn, man, that's good. Wow.
Doing something positive.
There we go, bro.
So now,
cool.
Say that again?
I like that. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm not. Let me put myself on mute.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was my only option. So now by him being my only option, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got pictures, man, of me as a little kid where I cut my head out of a picture and put it on Tupac and Deion Sanders' body. So, you know what I'm saying? And then I realize now that my son, he don't even understand that. It's like, you know what? His only option as a role model is his dad, because, you know what I'm saying, of the stuff that his dad do for him, of the education that his dad provide for him,
right,
of the resources that, you know what I'm saying? So now, I didn't have that. So me and you, all we did was we searched for something, and we emulated what we saw to be positive,
right, because
we didn't have that. And then my mom sold my dad to be a fucking idiot, to be a retard. And even though that was the case, but at some point, it made me to be the person I am and to find somebody else as a role model, because regardless, the light my mom shared of my father, it was nothing that I wanted to do. It was portrayed to me as being, hey, low down, dirty, sorry, irresponsible. So now, even as a kid, I'm growing up, I know that's nothing that I wanted to be like. Right. So now I had to go ahead and find my so-called positive image. And most of the time, my positive image was dope boys, was these individuals that we see every day doing positive things, or we thought doing positive things. And positive things for us was making money and being successful.
Right. Now, check this out. On the other hand, my mother didn't depict my father as none of those things, which left a big question mark for me. So I had to feel. Yeah, my fault. I had it on mute because I didn't want to, my expressions, I didn't want to blurt out while you was talking. But check this out. On the other hand, my thought was a little, well, the way my mother depicted my father was a little bit different, because she didn't have none of those views about my father. So it left a big question mark for me about how to view him. You see what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know how to view him, so I had to fill in the blanks my own self. And I had to put what I felt why he was or was not there for me, which led me to the most negative things rather than the most positive things. Because we, as kids, when we're young, we only go off of what we feel at the time and what we see, because that's all we have. If we don't physically see you around, then we can't there's no other way to gain an opinion about a situation, because we don't have the mental capacity to process what's taking place until we get to up into a point in time and age where we can just say, you know what, he was sorry, or you know what, he was not there, or whatever the case is. But that's why I was left with that question mark, my own devices and my own mindset to figure it out at a certain point. Like, man, this dude, he's sorry, or this dude, you know, whatever. Rabini says there's no connections. Hold on, no connections. What's up, brother? I respect that. So, bro, hey, dude, can y'all see me on the chat? That's what's up, brother. I respect that. And she says no connections. What, Rabini? What you mean by no connections? What do you mean by that? I'm not sure. But anyway, so I didn't process that. You feel me? Like, it was kind of like a disconnect. No connection. It was a disconnect from the feelings. So basically, oh, okay, got you. All right, Rabbi, I'm sorry. So I didn't know how to take that. So it left me with anger, okay? It just left me lashing out left me with a bunch of anger and a bunch of question marks. So my self-esteem as a man was not where it should have been. Instead of me having high self-esteem about me growing up, I had the low self-esteem. Even though I should have had the ability to do whatever I wanted to do, I should have had the ability to be a smart black man, I had low self-esteem, and everything I did, I didn't go with putting forth my best foot forward because I didn't have that self-esteem nor encouragement from the male role model. Mother did what she could. But at a certain point, a man or a young man needs his father's encouragement. He needs the father, and he needs to hear that father say, man, I love you. I love you. It's nothing wrong with a father saying to his son, I love you, man. You my little dude, you know? You my boy. Rub him on the head. It's nothing wrong with that. And when you don't have that at a certain point or a certain age, it messes with the psyche. Okay? I'm speaking from real facts. I'm not just telling you something. It's firsthand experience. It messes with your psyche because you just don't understand why. It leaves that big question mark. Why? Why? Why was I good enough for him to just reach out with one phone call and say, hey, man, how are you? Or I love you. Anything. Not even just giving me a bunch of promises that I will be there to bring you to get clothes or I'll bring you for any crazy. No, but just saying, I love you, man. I'm here, or I might not be where you want me to, but I just love you, or whatever. Those words mean a lot. It can go a long ways to a little person that is struggling with finding those answers about why. You feel me, Logic?
Yeah, I think the saddest part for me though is after I met my father, and for that, you know what I'm saying, limited amount of time, and I actually, you know what I'm saying, got to really start understanding how he was, like outside of my mom. And then when I was young, I never did that. I mean, it's like whatever my mom told me my father was, that's what I took it as.
Right.
So like once I started talking to, you know what I'm saying, his sisters, his neighbors, you know what I'm saying, I started to realize that my father was an exact replica of me. You know what I'm saying? He loved cars. You know what I'm saying? He liked to dress nice. He wouldn't go to the grocery store, you know what I'm saying, without putting on nice clothes. I learned that, you know what I'm saying, he just had to have nice things around him. And then I saw a lot of myself in my father, and I didn't even know the man.
Right.
So, I mean, that was crazy. And I look at the impact that it could have had on me. You know what I'm saying? That he could have told me, hey, look, you know what? Hey, son, I did this way. I understand you got this natural hunger about yourself to do this, but I tried it this way. So now you might want to try to take it this way. And then now because I can see myself in this man, and I can look at his past and say, okay, well, my father did try this. And then, you know what, even though we got the same, we exactly the same, I can look at him and see his mistakes, and I can look at him and see his experiences, and I can take what I was doing to the next level. But see, because I didn't know him, I had to start off the same thing he had to. I had to make the same mistakes. I had to experience the same things in life that he did. And then now it took us to a point where we at now. That, you know what I'm saying? But now I got to take it and I got to reverse that. Well, I got to sit here and teach my son everything by dealing with females. You know what I'm saying? By dealing with men. You know what I'm saying? By dealing with everybody, dealing with life in general. So now my son will have an upper hand now because guess what? The options that I had, there's no longer options for him because he was educated on that. So, I mean, I still, to this day, you know what I'm saying, I still thank my father, you know what I'm saying, for giving me that. I wish it would have been done in a different way, but I had investigated for myself. But I still thank him for just that, you know what I'm saying, me understanding what having the mentality that I have now. And then if you look at everything I say, I don't just get on there and I don't speak on, people say, hey, look, what Elijah, you talking about welfare, food stamps and all that. But the reason I'm speaking upon it is because I was raised on that shit. I was raised on these incentive programs, and I see how it limits you. So now if I'm looking and I say, hey, I was raised on welfare, and then welfare only gave my mom just enough money to exist. So now I'm going to speak against that because I know how I was raised up. I was raised up on Medicare. Well, I never could have the best medical care available. It was almost like a second-class citizen type of, you know what I'm saying, medical care. And then so now I'm going to speak up against that. I'm going to speak up against, you know what I'm saying, everything that I experienced in life and how I was miseducated. So now people take it and they look at me and say, hey, logic is cool. But logic is looking at things from a logical perspective, and I'm learning from my mistakes. And now, if I know something that it didn't work for me because of the system I was developing, and that's what I was trying to get the Sister Renee to understand the other day. I was raised in this shit. So now if I was raised in it, I will be a fool not to speak out against it because I don't want no other kids to be raised in the same environment I was raised in.
No doubt. Hey, check this out.
That's why I do what I do.
Check this out. Do you think that the fathers that have not been in touch with their kids and have not been the role model they should have been, do you think they owe their kids an explanation?
Yes, they do. I think they owe them an explanation, but I think they owe them time. See, my biggest thing is that it's not about the money. You know,
yeah,
you owe them time. You owe them the time to educate them. But in order to educate them so what they can listen to you, you got to be in their life. So I just can't come out and my kid's 16 years old and then I never seen him since he was 3. And now I want to start coming in, dropping gems and dropping jewels. You can't do that.
Right.
Because now they will have no respect for you. And then now the environment that's designed, somebody already took your place as a role model.
Right.
So you can't come in just by default because you're the father and say, hey, I'm your father, so now by default I'm going to be your role model. No. By 16, that kid already got his mind made up. He already know who his role model is. He already know where he to, and at the same time, by default, he didn't grew, he didn't turn himself into his role model, even though it might not be natural, even though he might have a natural connection with his father, but he didn't turn himself into his role model so he can have that common ground.
Right. Yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you, it's so much in this one particular situation. But my thing is, I want to bring healing to those who have been in this particular situation. I want to bring some healing and in a different way to look at things, because like you said, and I think somebody wanted to know what was the relationship you had with your father, and if you didn't hear, Logic was saying that his father passed away henceforth not that long before he was reunited with him. So it really wasn't a lot of time that he could have spent with him. So I feel that, man. I feel that pain. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I feel that right there, because I can only imagine if I didn't have that, where would I be, and how it would have been much hard with those questions not answered if it wouldn't have been able to have been available to me. But I say this, my kids today, I knowing the patterns of what my father did in the past, from people that family members, sisters, and people telling me things that were close to him, that right there. Oh, okay. Now I see what Rabini says. Rabini says, no. What was the relationship with your father's relationship with his father? Sorry about that, Rabini. So,
hey, Oh, okay.
Go
I
ahead.
see
Go
what
ahead.
you're
Go
saying
go
now.
go go ahead and answer
And
that
see,
question, and then I'm
the
gonna go
thing,
ahead.
okay, yeah, the thing that the sad part about it is I don't even know my father relationship with his father because I didn't even know my father. So it's like that's a part of my history that I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? That's something that was never even brought up. That was something that because I never had that relationship, so he never was able to tell me, hey, look, you know what? Um, I mean, I'm like this because you know what I'm saying. I mean, I just picked up where my father left off, so I can only all I do is just assume. But in certain aspects, I can assume that you know what I'm saying. I would say he had a different relationship with his father,
Right.
and the only reason I say that is because I see how my father's side of the family conduct business, how they actually is a close knit type family. So I mean, even though I was going around, I mean, I knew my grandma very well. Uh, I knew my sisters, his other kids. You know what I'm saying, very well. But it was just the link between us and our father that was limited. And his grandfather, I mean, my grandfather, which was his father, it was non-existent because you know what I'm saying. He stopped that from happening. You know what I'm saying because he wasn't around.
Okay, so Bosmella Rabini. So that's your answer right there. Um, me personally, I strive to try to do my best in my kids' life because I didn't want them to not experience not having a father in their life. You know, there could have been times when, you know, I negated my responsibility as a father. There could have been times that I did that, but every time that I was faced with situations that I wanted to give up, I had to put myself back in the times when I didn't have my father when I needed him. And that gave me enough courage and strength to keep pushing forward. You understand what I'm saying? It gave me enough strength to say, you know what? I can't do that because I got another person, another mouth to feed, another person looking at me. You know what I'm saying? Like it gave me enough insight to just not be selfish. And that's one of the points I want to bring up. A lot of men are selfish today when it comes to how they raise their kids, when it comes to how they view their family and kids. They're real selfish because at a certain point, it's all about me, myself, and I. But when you have kids, it's no longer about you. You got to now think about the life you brought into the world. You dig what I'm saying? It's about the life that you bring into the world. It's no longer about you no more. You got to now say, you know what? I got this child and I brought him in this world. And I'm not saying like he birthed, because of course we know logic, but I'm saying as far as you assisted in making him, so you have to think about that child, daughter, son, and not be selfish, not put your needs before that child's needs. And I think a lot of times men do that. They'll put their needs first before they put that child's needs, and then what happens is no balance there. All they see is me, myself, and I, and forget about the responsibilities and the things, that it is going to take to raise that child. So when you're in the bed with that girl and you doing what you're doing, and a child comes out of it, whether you want to or not, when the child comes out, it's nothing you can do. You can't push the child back in. So from that point forward, you have to man up and you have to say, you know what? I have this responsibility, and no matter what it takes, I have to follow through with my obligations to my commitment to that child because I was a part in bringing them in this world. Now, I got a question. What if you're in a relationship with a female that has kids already when you get in their relationship? And then one more thing to add to that. What if they're real bad? What if they like bad, like some baby kids? Like, what if they real bad kids? What would you do in that situation? How do you still view that situation? Do you still view yourself as a father, even though y'all just got married, or even though you've been in a relationship for 5 or 6 years or whatever? Are you still the father figure, or do you say, well, they have a father, let them on their own, I'm just with the chick or whatever?
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I think that I'm still a father. And then see, but the reason I think like that is because if you would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have said, no. But see, I'm older now, and now we don't get that education nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? We learn that through experience. So I mean, it won't veer me away from a female for having kids.
Right.
It will veer me away from that female once I understand how she got into that predicament. And I'm explaining this. My mom had me with my father after he had 6 kids already.
Wow.
So he had already had 6 kids. He had already, proven to the world that he was not ready for this obligation. So now, not blaming my mom, but at some point, if we agree that it's a mad black father, then we got to have that same understanding that it's even a mad or black woman. Now, and I'm saying this, and I'm only saying this because I'm being honest.
That's what we want. That's all we want.
I love my mom to death, but I got to hold her accountable on that same standard, because she knew my father was a mad, just like your title, mad black father. He was mad. He had 6 kids, and he wasn't raising them. So what did my mom think make her special, that he was going to stop and start doing right at some point, when his track sheet showed that he didn't want to be in this position.
Right.
So now, when I was raised, I was raised as a unwanted kid. Now, I'm explaining that unwanted kid. Now, even though my mama wanted me, my mom wanted me, my father didn't want me. So by default, I was a unwanted child. And anytime you bring unwanted kids in this world, the effects of it will be powerful, because now that unwanted child, will have to learn everything from one individual. And we understand that's not possible. My mom didn't teach me a lot of stuff.
Right.
That's why Tupac and Deion Sellers came in the picture. But see, the thing is, what I'm saying is I appreciate you allowing me to come on your show. Hey, so what people will do is they will understand my level of education when I try to push out information. I don't push it out from one side. I will agree, it is a lot of mad black fathers out there. But now, at some point, we got to understand, if it's mad black fathers, and then they continue to produce these kids, then it's an opposite effect that it has to be mad black women.
Okay.
And until we get to that understanding, that it's easy to say, you know what, all them niggas is fucked up. And I would tell you right now, everybody in the chat room, I agree with you. The niggas is fucked up. But guess what? The niggas have to have somebody to make these kids with. So now, why don't we hold the women to that same standard?
Okay.
These niggas should start getting scarlet letters, and we should put it around their neck and say, this nigga got 8 kids, and then he only paying child support for 1. So now, if you choose to have a baby by this man, then, you know what I'm saying, doesn't that make you mad just as that make him mad?
Right. Right. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. Check this out.
I'll fall back, brother.
No, I'm agreeing. Hey, look, I'm not. Hey, look, I want to read. Oh, why you retracted that statement, Rabbany? I want to read some of the chat. She took it off. Okay. So Rella Ann, I don't know, but I was reading it and then she took it off, but I wanted to share that. I mean, it was deep. It wasn't nothing bad or nothing. It was cool. All right.
I mean, see, this is the thing too. Even
She
if
said,
it was bad, I can look at that bad and I can have positive. You see what I'm saying? I can look at it, and you know what? It's a point of view that, you know what I'm saying, regardless of how it comes across. See, the only thing is, I don't know if you noticed it now, but I can take a lot of shit from a lot of people.
Right. No, I know. Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can see me these. Say that again.
I seen you holding your own, man. Hey, look, man. Trust me. I know you can hold your own. I already know that by now. I seen you holding your own.
This is my only thing though. I can take stuff, but if she's talking from a logical perspective, I have no reason but to respect it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, if somebody was to come in here, right, and I just made that statement that my mom had to be equally mad as my dad because he had 6 kids and she still had a child with him. So now, people will say, hey, look, you know what? That's fucked up. You're talking bad about your mom. I don't agree with that. He could have manipulated her. He could have did. The only way that I would take my mom's side in this situation if she was raped.
Right.
But think about this, Ace. She knew he had 6 kids.
Right.
So she knew he had 6 kids. And she went into that situation, you know what I'm saying, willing to be baby mom number 7.
Right.
Now, I mean, should we hold her accountable just like we'll hold my dad accountable?
Should hold him accountable. I believe so.
And that's my point.
Yeah, I definitely believe so. And to add on what you're saying, hey, hold on, before I say that, Rabini, don't be scared. We are not going to ridicule anybody's for their comments. All right, this ain't we're not doing that. What so whatever you bring and whatever information, whatever your opinion is, we value the opinions of our guests. And by now, y'all not really guests, but we value our opinions of the family, because what we're doing is trying to get down to resolutions for anybody that might see or hear this and what can help them. So we're not really gonna go back and forth to say you're right, you're wrong. It's not about right and wrong. It's about coming up with different solutions to help us and those who might be in this predicament as we speak, to give them that help. You feel me? The topic changed.
I can say this.
It didn't really change too much. See, here we go. The topic ain't changed because we still there. I'm still. This is the diary of it. This is all in the mix of that diary. A diary is a transponder of different thoughts. You feel me? Of particular times. So that's what we're doing. It's just different thoughts of different things about man, because tomorrow's Father's Day. So we're bringing up these things and we're trying to get different resolutions. And this man is giving his opinion from viewing it from not having his father, which is basically how I started off, and me personally also. So there are some mothers out there right now that don't have the fathers in their lives. And there are some kids right now that might be experiencing this too, So, also I want to say about the mothers, the guys that get in relationships that have bad kids that don't even belong to them. Now, that's a tough situation, because if a man gets with a woman and don't realize the type of situation he getting in, if he don't have no strong love for that woman, it's going to be very difficult to hold that relationship together. I mean, if he gets with her and them kids are just disrespecting him, oh man, it's so much I can go into. Check this out. What if the kids is the same age as the person that is with that? And this might be on topic, but I want to know from a woman's point of view. What if what if the kids are the same age as the guy that's with the mother? How do the dude handle that situation, maturity wise? Can I hear that from my chat? What's up? I want to know how do the individual, the male, deal with that if it's the same age? Because you know you do got cougars out there. You hear me, Logic?
Yeah, say that again.
I said you got cougars out there. So what if the dude is the same age as the kids that the mother he's with? How can that be? Oh, watch what's his name? Not Jerry Springer, that's all phone. Watch what's the dude? Steve Wilco, and watch some of them TV shows. It's out there. He's too young for the mother.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah. Oh, but
see, I agree.
Go ahead. No,
I think it's my opinion that, you know what, that this shouldn't even be a topic because, number one, if that man don't want to take the responsibility of this with them kids, then he should not be in that household. So, I mean, it's that when I look at it, hey, if I choose a woman and she has kids, if I take that woman, I'm taking on that obligation of also them kids. So, you know, and see me now, I see power in kids. So now it's most people will look at it and they say, oh, she got 5 kids. That's a turn off. To me, that's a turn on. Because now, for me, I have more individuals to mentor and influence to do something positive. But what I did say is that what I will put in question is how she got in that predicament. So if she got 5 kids and all of them got all different fathers, then now I want to question how she got in that predicament. But if she had 5 kids and she was married and then the nigga ran off and left her, then now you see what I'm saying? That changed the dynamic. So I wanna know, how did you get in that predicament? Because now if you got in that predicament, I got to question that. But with them 5 kids, yes, I will take them 5 kids on, because now by default, what she just did is she just put me ahead. You know what I'm saying? And just like my sister just said in there, nation building. Yes, I agree with nation building. I'm all about nation building. And that, by default, she didn't put me ahead. So I'm like, hey, look, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's get this. But if she got 5 different baby daddies, you know what I'm saying? I got to question her judgment. And now, do she even have the mindset of nation building?
Okay. Because, you know, some men get in situations and realize it's more than what they bargained for. And then that's when you find a lot of people weighing the options of, is it worth the rest of their lives trying to spend with a person dealing with baby's kids? And should they feel like it's their obligation when the man that had all these kids don't have to support them, and you killing yourself with 2 or 3 jobs trying to take care of them? I'm just saying. I mean, I've been in that position. That's why I'm talking. and my grandmother used to call it, why would you mess with them dirty girls with ready-made families? I mean, she would say it all the time. Oh, yeah. She would give me the blues. I would bring a girl home. Hey, this is my girlfriend. You know. And when she leave, that dirty girl up the street, you done mess, she got about 4 or 5 kids. Why are you trying to get a ready-made family? And I never understood what she was saying. Well, basically, she was saying, why would you put yourself in that much strain when you could find somebody that didn't have that and try to build and have less stress and less, you know what I'm saying? Like, it might sound crazy, but I understood at the time. I didn't understand at the time, but now I understand. I do. I really do. I understand it all too well. Because it's a lot of stress trying to take care of somebody else's kids when you got the interference of their father when he feels like it. When he gets mad because he ain't got nobody laid up against him, he going to come over there and try to start troubling your relationship and make things crazy. then try to pump the kids, if he do get the kids, whenever he decides he wants them, pump their brain for information, then turn them against you. It's so many different things you deal with as a father coming into a situation like that, or as a secondary father coming into those type of situations.
All right, I got to disagree with you on that, only to an extent, because what we got to realize is that it's power in kids. I mean, we've grown to accept, you know what I'm saying, this new millennium understanding of kids. But it's power in kids. Kids are power. Kids are resources. You know, back in history, you can see where a woman with 7 kids, that was a power move. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because hey, if you can sit here and try to do something, and then you might have a woman that can have 7 kids. But see, nowadays we don't even want 7 kids because we don't understand the power and the influence in having kids. So now, kids are powerful. So now, a woman with kids is powerful. But like I said, the only downfall with that would be questioning her decision-making ability of how she got in that situation.
Right.
And now, if she got in that situation, is she gullible enough? I mean, not gullible enough. Is she gullible, or do she not understand the power that she has? And is she thinking about it as, I have these 7 kids to be a patient, or I had these 7 kids by mistake? And that's powerful. If you have kids and say, look, you know what, I'm finna go out and build my nation. Or you had 7 mistakes. So now, which one is it? So now, if she has 7 kids that say, hey, look, I'm looking to build a nation, or she has 7 mistakes, I mean, you do the math. Which one would you take?
Right. I think I'm out of that one. Go ahead. So check this out. I said I thought of that one, but check this out. I find it now, and you hear where some of the people in the chat was like, well, of course you got Rella Ann, who always try to throw some stuff in the salt on the game. She puts it's hard to find women without kids now, which is not true. There's people, and I want to know what would be the mindset of a person saying, I want to have a child at 17, 18. Would it be a mistake? Would it be they just, was just being promiscuous? I believe in a healthy family structure, kids is not really the first priority of young adults. And I think secretly a lot of people want kids because of the lack of what they have in their life. I really do. When people have it at a young age, they have the option to say, I don't want a kid, or I do. But I think secretly some of these people that have them at such a young age say that there's a need for this child to fill some type of void in my life. You did?
Yeah, see, I think they have kids today at a young age because they really don't want kids. They more or less, and this is just my opinion, so I probably get some slack for this too. I think they have it to, number one, try to lock down a man, and number 2, some of them actually do it to get over on a system. You know what I'm saying? And because they saw it, you know what I'm saying, as in a tool to get over on the system, because, you know what I'm saying, you can have kids, and then just like the government financially took care of me. The government financially raised me. So my mom didn't have a job. So now I understand that that's an option. And now I've seen some of my sisters fall in that same paradigm that my mom instructed, because they did the exact same thing. They got up, they grew up. My older sister was 16. She had her first child, maybe 17. She had her first child at 17. And then from that point on, she had 4 more kids, and then she's been living off the system ever since. But see, she learned that from my mom.
Right.
So now she duplicated that same thing. So now, shit, I lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was talking
Go
about.
ahead, keep it. Don't let the people in the chat scare you off of doing what you're doing. You're building right now.
No, they'll never scare me, because what they'll get from me always is they'll get the honest truth, and they'll get the truth from a logical perspective. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell them exactly how it is. But when they sit down about it, along with themselves, they will say, you know what? I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? It probably affected me in some kind of way, but it was the truth.
Right.
See, like my sister, she got 4 kids, right? And she said she want to have 3 more, right? Somebody, the baboons that we got in our society today will look down on sister. What is it? Ann?
Rella Ann.
Yeah, Rella Ann. So they'll look down on Rella. But see, I look at this. She got 4 powerful boys. Why now? And not only did she got 4 powerful boys, she wants 3 more kids, because she understands that kids is a powerful resource. So now, if you want to be lazy and you don't want to work, guess what? Have powerful kids. You know what I'm saying? Have powerful kids, because see, now, by default, you know what I'm saying, if she educates these kids right, she teaching them, you know what I'm saying, she set them up for success. These kids will take care of her for the rest of her life. She don't need no government programs. You see what I'm saying? So like, she set herself up for success, and then now, as long as she passed that information down to her babies, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna duplicate the same thing.
Good point.
Just like my sister duplicated exactly what she saw from my mom.
Good point. Good point, man. Hey, check this out. Good point. I was about to say, shoot, the more kids you have, the better success you have of them becoming very, very successful in being able to put back or take care of you when you get to the point where you can't take care of yourself. I mean, we all get old, so let's not act like we ain't gonna get old at some point in time. You feel me? And depending on how you treated those kids and how you raised those kids is going to depend on how well they treat you. Don't think that don't count. So people forget that they got to get old. And don't think that if you ain't put that time in with them kids and treating them right, don't think they're going to be all so well treating you good. They're going to put you right in a nursing home and forget about you. So you better think twice about how you treat those kids and about how, about how you raise your kids. Because if you get up to a certain age and you really can't do for yourself, do you think them kids are going to want to put time in and you ain't put time in for them? I'm just saying, that's just me. That's just me speaking. I mean, I'm just speaking.
They tell her that, you know what, and then see now, I don't even know this sister. And I mean, she can be lying in here. Not saying you're lying, sister, but I'm just saying.
Who? Which one?
Mean, we all, Rella Ann.
Okay.
I'm not saying she lied, but I'm just saying is that just say if we use Rella Ann logical concept, what she's living as a blueprint, now compare it to the blueprint what we get from society. Society said, hey, look, you got 7 kids. Hey, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Now you got females today that don't even want to have 1 kid.
Right.
And then now they say, oh, I'm one and done. But see, now you gotta, they not understanding, you know what I'm saying, that we're put here and we're designed to reproduce.
Right.
So now if we're designed to reproduce, if you think about it, if you want to say that it's a system that's out there, the system is telling us that it's negative for us to have multiple kids.
Right.
Now, who would that benefit? That would benefit the system for us not having multiple kids. Because now by she having multiple kids and she having multiple resources was under her realm, guess what? These so-called white supremacist systems and these supremacist systems cannot affect her. But
right.
Guess what? They can affect the man and the woman with 2 kids because their impact is limited. This sister, goddamn, she want to have 7 kids. And so now, 7 kids, that's a powerful impact. I guarantee you, nobody in that high school will fuck with none of our boys.
Yeah.
Because they'll get their ass world wrapped.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real facts right there.
And now think about this. If one of our kids wanted to start a business, now you got more siblings to support that.
Right.
And with each sibling, they got what? A group of friends. So now their business, by default, just because she decided to have 7 kids, it will automatically have a better chance to flourish just by default. Why do we don't look at it like that?
That's facts.
Hey, Sister Rilla Ann, hey man, you're a powerful sister.
Yeah, she's still in the chat, I think. So she said I'm not lying. she said she ain't lying. I guess she's talking to you, saying to you, Logic, that she ain't lying. But I'm
with her. I'm with her. I was just saying. No disrespect, sister.
Yeah. She said my oldest teenager just got hired at the mayor's office. So, yeah. So that right there in itself, man, I applaud you, sis. You know what I'm saying? I applaud you. Hopefully everything is good with the man in the life, and hopefully he's taking care of his business. I applaud you on that. And
well, I ain't gonna hold up your line no more because I know somebody else probably want to call in.
All right, no bet. Man, you know, I feel like we was on the chat, and you know how we build, man. And don't even worry about it, Logic, man. You always welcome on the platform, man. We always seem to come to a great build at the end of the day. You feel me? You know, when I'm looking at a bunch of other nonsense, a bunch of other people, yeah, we come to a good build. So, all right, bro, I'm gonna let you go. And if anybody else wants to call in,
all right,
feel free.
I'm gonna stay tuning in. I'll be down in the chat room.
No doubt, man. All right, then, peace.
All right, peace, brother.
Yeah, that's my man Logic, man. I appreciate him coming through and sharing some of his most inner, some of his most inner feelings and some of his most inner thoughts. That was brave of him to come on Ace Corner Talk and share some of his perspectives and share some of his inner feelings about his life and some of his experiences in his life. That's real for him to do that, because a lot of times men, they don't want to open up. Prying information out of man is just like trying to get in Fort Knox and get the gold or the supposedly gold that they got in there, or whatever the case is. It's hard. It's hard to do that because men shut down. Men shut down, and we close our minds to anybody trying to enter in and gain information about us. So what we do is we tend to put a wall up. And that brings me up to this point. A lot of kids at young ages have their walls up so high that when they start to get old, they get callous with an I don't care attitude. The majority of the kids out there right now with no fathers have turned to the streets, have turned to society with an I don't care attitude. Okay? A lot of people out there trying to get into gangs for acceptance. A lot of them trying to find acceptance in women. A lot of them trying to find acceptance in society have turned to an I don't care attitude because there has not been nobody to reinforce their feelings on the inside. Right? Ace ain't trying to get emotional. I'm just saying, you know, there has not been a reinforcement with their feelings and the touch and being in touch with their feelings as far as it's okay to not have. But how are we as responsible adults are going to move forward to be productive in our own kids' lives? And that's what it boils down to. That's what it really boils down to. In this chat, man, I appreciate everybody going back and forth with what you feel in y'all perspectives. You know, Ace really appreciates it. Thank you to the chat. Thank you for those who are watching in. But I'm gonna get ready to close out. I'm gonna get ready to close out with this. There's good men and there's bad men. Or let me say this. I'm not going to say there's bad men. I'm going to say there's good men and misguided men. Okay? I'm going to stop using the term bad, because I'm not saying that men are bad. I'm going to say that there's misguided men out there. And with the proper guidance, proper mentoring, they can be, or they can start to become better fathers and work their way to success when it comes to building with their families, building with their children. Okay, tomorrow's Father's Day. And each and every father that might watch this show, might be tuning in, might tune in, I want you to think about this. Don't let the past mistakes hold you back from being productive in the future. Whatever mistakes you've made in your child's life, whatever thing you have done that have permitted you from being the best father you can be, try to move forward with a clean slate. Don't punish yourself because of the bad choices you've made. Don't let anybody put you in a box. If you're trying to move forward to be the best you can be, move forward and be the best that you can be. Put forward a better effort to establishing a better relationship with you and your kids. I want all you fathers to enjoy Father's Day. I want all you fathers to begin to appreciate who you are as a man and appreciate the ability you have to being a great father, because we're needed. We as fathers are needed out here. We're needed. And as long as we continue to move forward with the same mind to be the best we can be, when it comes time for us moving forward and having our strings pulled on to come to the forefront, we'll have enough knowledge and enough equipment in us to be the best we can be. So I say peace to all of those in the chat. I say peace to Rabini. I say peace to Rella Ann. I tip my hats off to my brother Logic from Food, Clothing, and Shelter. God bless you, brother. Man, I appreciate you coming by this platform, man, because you really shared some things that is going to help somebody that may watch this. They're going to listen to what you said, and it's going to help them. I say peace to all of those who stopped by for a brief moment. Peace to Zeus's Flippy. All right? I'm going to say peace to those who chimed in. Peace to Muhammad. Peace to all of you, man. Just peace to everybody. Peace to Suicide 29, my brother from another mother. Peace, man. So I thank everybody for joining in this session. I really enjoyed myself. I really felt the connection between me and my brother Logic, even though we come from both sides of the fence when it comes to different things. You know, I'm real strong on promoting biblical point of views, and my spirituality, I'm real strong in it because of where I came from and what I felt personally. So I'm trying not to use anybody else's logic or anybody else's how they've been brought up and how they have been introduced to their doctrines or their beliefs. I just believe in what I believe in because of my firsthand experience, not with man, but between me and God. So that's where I've arrived at, and I feel like it's have allowed me to be productive. And without God, I probably would have been in on the highway to destruction or have been destroyed by now because of the lifestyle I used to lead and live. So thank you all. I love all y'all. Mwah. Peace. And I'm glad that y'all stopped by. This has been another successful broadcast from Ace's Corner Talk. I'm Ace, and thank you for tuning in. May all y'all be blessed. May all the fathers enjoy their Father's Day. Peace out, family.